How are you? You're right.
I'm good, yeah.
Thanks for
You all
doing
right?
it. Yeah, I'm good,
It's all
thanks.
right.
Is that your nice lighting setup? It's good. Look at your little dark backgrounds. Is your self-tape area?
No, this is just normally I've got like a big blue background for my
Yes.
self-tapes.
It's an
Yeah,
art form doing a fucking self-tape, isn't it?
isn't it? I love it though.
Do you?
I like getting up. I wish I had a self-tape room. I wish I had a spare room just to have it set up so I'd have to take it down and put it up again.
Yeah, that would be a
Yeah,
luxury to have. I don't get
that's the
enough
dream.
self-tapes to justify having a dedicated room. Hello and welcome back to Stage Door Athletic. Now, today's guest is actor and a friend, Peter McPherson, who joins us in the Clubhouse just ahead of the new season of last year's award-winning, and it's fair to say, surprise BBC Three comedy hit Smoggie Queens, where he plays Harrison, the ex-lover of Dickie, the lead character played by the show's creator and writer, Phil Dunning. Now, if you haven't watched Smoggie Queens, then get to the iPlayer and catch up before season 2 comes out. Now, Smoggie Queens is a British sitcom. It's set in Peter's hometown of Middlesbrough, centering on a close-knit group of LGBTQ plus friends who form a chosen family as they navigate life, love, identity and community in the northeast of England. The show stars Mark Benton, the brilliant Alexandra Mardello, I think is really fab in it, with guest cameos by Michelle Visage and money guru Steph McGovern, amongst others. It blends a bit of slapstick humour, heart, regional pride, and it follows the gang's chaotic adventures from navigating relationships and competitions to big local events like Pride, all with loads of camp, wig-snatching comedy and affectionate digs at local culture and each other. Well, mainly the baby gay Stuart, played by Elijah Young. So Peter trained in London as an actor, has built a really solid career across theatre, television and film, and you may know him from his stint in Hollyoaks. And he rather wonderfully was quite critical in helping me get my role on Corrie. More on that to come, as well as some note swapping on soap acting. Whilst Peter would absolutely not describe himself as a sportsman or indeed a sports fan, he has played a rugby player on film and he's a proper gym boy. So I want to talk to him about how his body and body image has played into his career, which I think is an interesting question for a lot of performers, as well as his experience growing up in the Northeast and his path to seek fame and fortune in the gold-paved, or probably more likely, the rainbow-painted streets of London. So welcome to the Stage Door Clubhouse, Peter McPherson.
Hello, you're right.
It's good, isn't it?
That was a nice
It's
entrance.
nice.
Onigiri. I was like, oh, I don't remember her. What
She
part
was in
did
it,
she
wasn't she,
play?
Steph McGovern?
No, I know, but it's the way you said money guru.
Money
I was
Guru.
like, I thought it was a name. I was like, God, I don't remember that
Cool, that's
actress.
quite a good drag name. Money
Yeah.
Guru. Brilliant. So take us back to growing up in the Northeast. You're a proper Middlesbrough boy, aren't you?
Well, no, I'm from Hartlepool.
Yeah. Do you know what? I thought
Hartlepool.
Hartlepool. Yes.
Yeah, but my mum's from Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
But yes, but it's very close. It's like,
And it doesn't
not
have the
far away
same
at all.
rivalry as, say, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, or Sunderland and Newcastle, does it? Or does it?
No, no, I don't think so.
No.
Because yeah, you're talking football teams.
Well, just look. I mean, the Northeast is quite tribal, isn't it? In terms of like
It is.
which side of the Tyne you are, whether you're a Mackem or not a Mackem,
Yeah.
whether you're. Or there's a lot of
And
regional.
don't get them wrong.
No, you can offend easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you identify
Yeah.
with any of that, or were you just like, I'm not really fussed?
No, not at all. I got out of Hartlepool at 17, never looked back.
Did you? Did you?
No, do you know? But well, it's nice to be back because the Smoggie Queens.
Yes.
When I came to London, I was told to kind of like deny a lot of things that you are. So at 17 years old, you kind of listen to these people, who are older and wiser and teaching you, and you think, oh, they're font of all knowledge.
Yeah.
And so you do, like my accent changed and everything, did it on purpose. But going back, I always think like the things that you don't like about yourself or you deny about yourself is the things that probably make you unique.
Yeah.
And it's the things that you actually need to embrace.
Yeah.
And it is going to be your USP. So going back to doing Smoggie Queens is like a massive return home.
Yeah. That's so interesting. So that experience you talk about, was that principally through drama school and drama training when you were in that environment?
Yeah. So I trained twice. I was that bad. I trained at London Studio Centre as a dancer in musical theatre, and then later I went to Drama Centre.
Why was that? Why did you make that decision?
Because well, firstly, I didn't know any schools at all.
Yeah.
I did a performing arts course for a year, and all the second years, third years were auditioning for drama schools in London. And I said to my tutor, I'm gonna audition. I'm thinking of auditioning. If she laughed at me, I won't do it. Or if she's supportive, then I'll do it. And she said, absolutely. But you have to audition for London Studio Centre. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't know any schools at all. I hadn't done any research, nothing, just not my world. And so I only applied for one place, which was Studio Centre,
Yeah.
auditioned, got in. They only give one scholarship out a year, and I got it. And I
Yeah.
was like, amazing.
Yeah.
And then I did that for 3 years. But it was great for dancing, it was great for singing, but the acting wasn't what I needed.
Yeah.
And I came away and I did musicals for a while, and I always worked, like did classes and read books and things privately, and I would always try to implement it into the show. But I knew there was something, I didn't know how to break down a script. I got a script, I wouldn't know what to do with it. And I was like, I want to go back and I want to retrain as an actor. And I don't want to do a foundation course because they're just money making schemes. I want to do 3 years full on. And I did.
And why did you choose Drama Centre? It's got quite a rep, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. Why? I believe that like you're not right for every drama school.
Yeah.
And I feel like you choose them as much as they choose you. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I auditioned for most of them, and the three I got into, I think, are very alike.
Yeah.
And it was East 50.
East 17, the boy band who'd have a
Yeah,
sideline training actors, little known.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got into that,
Yeah.
but I turned them down. Um,
They were like, stay now. And you're like, no, I have to go away. And
I got into Rose Bruford and Drama Centre, and Drama Centre did Laban. And I thought, coming from a dance background, it would click with me. And I find it fascinating. I find it really interesting, but it's very theoretical.
yeah.
And it never got from here, like my head,
Yeah.
to my heart or to my gut.
Yeah.
And so eventually I had to be like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Even though I did my 3 years training. And that was why I went to Drama Centre. I thought it would be, because they did Stanislavski and Laban. It was a mix. And I
Yeah.
loved Stanislavski and Laban. I thought, oh, this might work. But
Yeah. So for listeners, Laban was principally a dance practitioner who developed a
yes,
notation system akin to written music. So we've all probably seen music on a page with notes, but Laban attempted to codify and create a written language for movement around actually how you move, where you move, but also the quality of the movement. And so would try to, a bit like music, if you're sort of playing staccato or legato, then actually was trying to bring a language to movement. And there's all these things like the Laban press and all these other things.
yeah.
That's right, isn't it?
That was beautifully described.
Thank you.
Yeah. And yeah,
I know I can't do it. I did get a bit wankily involved in a little while, but ask me to Laban notate something now, and
yeah. It's good for analysing.
yes.
It's good for analysing a performance or a script. But yeah, it just never clicked with me fully.
Yeah.
And I was a good student. Like, a good student doesn't necessarily mean a good actor.
Yeah.
And I was a good student for a long time. I was ticking boxes.
Yeah.
When I left, I was like, why am I doing this? Who am I doing it for?
Yeah.
Like, who am I trying to impress? If it's not working, it's not working. Everyone has their own method of working. It's like religion. Like, you've got your big faiths. You're all trying to get to the same point, but just through different ways. But not one faith works for, like, it's not, what's it called? Kind of one size fits all.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to kind of like pick, okay, that works for me from that because I love it. I've tried them all, like explored them all. And
yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And so we started this discussion around this idea of authenticity. And I definitely had a similar experience where I thought in my arrogance / naivety sense of self that I could be all things to all people, that my quality was my diversity, my breadth, my ability to be comedic, an impersonator, serious, all those things. And I was very aware that drama school were trying to push me against that and say, look, just decide what you are. I went to Webber Douglas, and that one of its I guess defining qualities actually was it was really good at trying to identify what people were and telling them to go for it and rationalize that or distill down to a couple of qualities. I remember having a class and the principal, Jago, was very good. He went around the class and went, you are this, you are this, you are this, you are this, based on what he'd learned from you and your aesthetic. And I was really resisting that. And of course, now, some 30 years later, nearly, he was right, and it's what you said. I wish I'd have learned earlier to know what I was to the world and to what I presented to the. I'm not really even that clear on that now, possibly. There's still a part of me who wants to, be all things to all people. But, we've both been in soap operas where, when you're walking into that casting, they're not looking for a versatile, dynamic actor. They are looking for as close to the character as they imagine it as possible in look, in accent, in character, in behaviour.
Yeah.
So I think learning and understanding that is, the sooner you do that as a young actor, the better.
Yeah, I totally agree. It takes insight, and sometimes that takes time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's true, like, you have to know what you're selling, and it's pointless selling a bike in a sweet shop. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, it's just you need to know what it is. You're a business. As much as I love the craft of it all, I love acting, but you have to know what you're selling, how to sell it, and also like a brand in a way. I've got a friend who we trained together, and she lives in America, and I remember her. She did this Facebook post being like, I'm not a brand, I'm an artist. Da, 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 da. And I thought, yes, but you need to know, like, where is your USP within, do you know what I mean? How do people see you come across? And it's not saying you can't play other roles, but it's just, where are people going to put you in? Into the industry.
And I think perversely, actually, the more you understand that early, if you can just identify what your brand is and succeed at that probably then opens the door, an opportunity to more diversity. But if you can try to do it the other way around, the inverse of that, you probably won't get to that point.
Yeah.
Just an artist versus performer. I think this is really interesting. I would not consider myself an artist. I really wouldn't. I think artists are very different mindset, very different relationship to their work. I have a bit of a funny debate with my friend Jack about this, where he says Kylie Minogue, amazing artist, and I say she's not an artist. I think Kylie Minogue is an amazing performer, and in many ways the perfect version of what we're talking about. She's an amazing conduit. I bet record companies love her because they can go, look, here's a new writer, here's a new stylist, here's a new genre. Go do it, Kylie. And she goes, yes, thank you very much. And off she does it, and she does it brilliantly. And I love her. I've seen loads. I really enjoy her, I admire her. But an artist, in my opinion, she's not. Gaga is an artist.
Yes.
That's a difference of someone who's pouring out creativity. Tilda Swinton.
Artist.
Crazy,
do you know what I mean?
Artist. Yes.
Like, you get that. No, that's an artist.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. I think it's fine to be a performer who isn't an artist, which I would consider myself one. I'm creative,
absolutely,
but I'm not an artist, I would say. So interesting. As we're talking about this, let's go to this idea. I talked about it in the introduction, but I did want to explore this a little bit because you are a gym boy. You've got a great body. You've always had a good body. How old are you these days?
On Spotlight?
Spotlight 1850, that's my range still. I do nudge up to like 24 to 50 sometimes. But I think, as gay actors, you have a grinder age, you have your Spotlight age, and you've got your passport age probably. So you choose. I mean, and the point being, you're not a young man anymore. You're in your 30s.
40s.
40s? You see, you're looking great.
Yeah.
You're a handsome man in your 40s with a banging body. And you've always
Thank
worked
you.
hard at your body, haven't you? Is this
Yeah.
part of that sense? Is this part of your brand? When did that start? When did you start gymming?
I started gymming, I think 29. It was going into my 30th birthday, which I think was a
Interesting.
big catalyst because it was like I was always athletic.
Yeah.
Because growing up, I did athletics, so I always had that.
Did
Always
you?
had big legs from running. Yeah. And then I went into dancing. So again, my
Yeah.
legs got bigger. But I was always skinny on top, but big from it was like two people.
Yeah. That game
And
that you play where you draw a head, fold it over, pass it on, and someone does the
yeah,
body.
yeah. And then at 30, I was like, oh no, the things I wanna change. I don't know why. Well, actually, maybe I do. But I got a PT and he was like, what's your goals? And I said, I just want everyone to want to fuck me. He was like, you
Yeah,
saw him go,
vanity and sense of
exactly.
self and sexuality and what you're putting out into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just was like, it cannot compute. And I was like, let's just be honest about this. I don't care about health. I don't care about I just want everyone to want me.
Yes.
And do you know what I mean? Just give the honest answer. That's what
Yeah.
we're all want to say, but we can't.
Yeah.
And that was my goal. And um, I'm quite good at repetition. I'm quite
Are you?
I don't. Yeah, I got a PT to show me how to do it and how to get form. Once I knew that, it was like, right, I can do this
Lead me to
myself
it.
now.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't gym with other people. I
No.
prefer do it on my own. Yeah.
But you're very in the habit, I imagine. I mean, I've run
Yes.
into you in the gym a few times, generally when I'm sort of just attempting to kickstart myself back into the gym for the 18th time in 2 years. And
Yeah.
yet there you are and you're doing your thing. And, so you're very much in the habit. Would it sort of pain you to skip a couple of weeks these days?
Less so now. A lot of things are changing recently, but it's also, I think, mainly mental health as well. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
kind of doing that routine, get things moving. I don't dance anymore, and I feel that on my body, not stretching as much.
Yeah.
And that was actually quite, to stop dancing was, it was like grieving because I had I knew I wanted to focus on different things and I couldn't give the same amount of time and energy and I wasn't going to be really dancing anymore. So I was like, okay, I need to take that time from here and put it there. And also the gym, I find it quite sociable. Like I do talk to people while I'm there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, oh God, been here an hour and a half and
Done
chatting.
anything.
And cardio, I've recently started cardio because it's such a dirty word, isn't it? Hate it, hate it. But
But is it
starting
for
to
shedding off the pounds? Is it? Yeah. Yeah.
but I just walk. I just walk on a treadmill for 20
Okay.
minutes.
Yeah, fair dues.
That's my bit.
Yeah, good on you. Yeah. Well, I bought
Yeah,
a bike recently, and I'm attempting to get into cycling. I cycled to the gym
yeah,
the other day, actually. I was quite proud of myself. I cycled
yeah,
into the Strand from
yeah,
Clapham and back again and worked out. And I felt very pious, very, very virtuous.
yeah,
Yeah. So I
yeah,
think most of my actions are a bit like you for vanity, for what I'm saying to the world, to be able to tell
yeah.
someone else that I'm cycling. It's very, very rarely to do. It's very rarely to do with what's in my own
Yeah,
self-interest in terms of health. It's just
yeah,
around vanity, showing
yeah,
off, basically.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Do you think it's helped you get jobs then? Do you think in terms of this
yes.
idea of identity it has?
Yeah, like when I did Afterglow's a play set in New York.
Yeah.
It's about a couple who have a third. The play starts off having a threesome or having sex, and then it goes into the play. So you're naked, and then again, like in the play, I strip naked, get in the shower and stuff like that. In 9 to 5, the musical started off in a fake shower, basically in a jock strap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? My agent is like, can you just keep your clothes on, please? And I'm like, give them what they want. Um, so yeah, I'm doing a play in March in Newcastle, and I get to keep my clothes on for it.
Oh, great. What are you
So
doing?
it's called Shuggy Boat at
Great.
the Live Theatre, yeah,
Great. Oh, that'd
in
be great.
Newcastle. I know.
What a great venue.
I'll get them off eventually. I'll
Yes.
work it into rehearsals, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Great. Oh, that'd be fun. Really good. What's
Yeah.
your part?
I play Ryan, and I'm the son of Jocker and Maeve. And Maeve is being denying who she really is, and it's her 60th birthday, and she's just like, "Okay, I'm a lesbian," and it like throws the family into chaos because it's
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, I'm the gay one. That's my identity. You've stole my identity." And Jocker, he's a bit autistic, and so kind of can't really compute and deal with it, and kind of spirals off. So, but it's really funny. Very, very northern, set in Newcastle. So yeah, excited to.
You've played a lot of gay characters over your career, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, I don't mind. I don't.
I
I
don't
don't.
mind them. They're
I
all
don't. I
right, you
don't
know.
mind.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know a
give me
few.
them.
They're all right.
It's like Russell Tovey said. Well, there's loads of different gay characters, isn't there? It's
Yeah.
not just like, oh, gay.
Yes.
You only play gay. Like, you know what I mean? There's still a big range within that. I am of the camp of like gay people should be playing gay roles.
Are you? And therefore you don't think straight people should be playing gay roles necessarily?
Well, I just think they have a lot to choose from, really. Do you know what I mean? And I think representation really matters. And I think if there is, a trans storyline, I do believe that you should look for trans actors first. And then if you can't find, then potentially branch out of it. Because there are loads of gay actors out there and brilliant gay actors. So, like, and also, like, we are it. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes straight actors play gay roles, and it's like, you're playing an idea of a gay
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
I
to
would
say
just
they
call that
can't.
poor acting. I mean, I feel
True.
I really have a different point of view about this. I know
Yeah.
Russell T Davies, who wrote Queer as
Yeah.
Folk and is the previous showrunner on Doctor Who and
Yeah.
various other big shows, who's a bit of an iconic, obviously, figure in TV. You were in Years and Years, his TV show, weren't you, brief as well? He's a big advocate of this. I have a different view about it personally, and I think I connected to something wider actually around our general understanding in the conversation around equality and diversity of empathy, actually, that's gone missing in our world a little bit, of that we're slightly risking all conversations around diversity of potentially shutting down people who don't have a lived experience of a particular part of life, and that their opinion is some way not as valid as someone else's. Now, I understand that argument because it's certainly a different one. And I hate the phrase lived experience. I don't know why it became lived experience. People's experience is what people mean, is obviously really, really valuable. I directed a play at Birmingham Rep a few years ago, was around Call of Duty, and the actor David, who played the recruiting sergeant, had been in the army. It was a really nice, interesting insight that he brought into the audition. It was interesting. It was the stories he could bring to the audition and the rehearsal process were really valuable. No one else was a soldier, so that was really helpful. But it wasn't the defining quality of what we needed there. And I feel very similarly about gender. I think ethnicity is actually a very different question, but around gender, around sexual identity, I think it's really valuable. It's interesting. It's useful. You're going to bring insight and experience to it, but I don't think it's the only quality or should be prevent other people from going there, because I think actually what it is to be a performer is to go to a place and then go beyond as part of a character. To play Macbeth in Macbeth, you don't have to have murdered 10 people, but you do have to have had an extraordinary sense of self, jealousy, driven nature, vanity, all these qualities. And then you put the knife in your hand, and then as an actor, you go beyond your own morality, which would mean you would never stab someone. And that's the exciting bit for audience and performer. And so I think it's totally possible for a straight actor to go to the point of having gay sex
Yeah,
and then beyond it in their imagination for them and the audience. And I would say
of
the true
course. But
same of trans people.
what you're dealing with, though, what you're saying about the Macbeth scenario is that's all human conditions and emotions, and we're all human. So, of
Yeah.
course, anyone can do that. But it's interesting that you say, with ethnicity, it's a different story. But like, if I go to see a play, especially take a gay play or a gay story, like in the theatre, majority of your audience members are going to be gay men. I'd say probably 95%
Yeah.
are going to be gay men. And I want to see an authenticity. And I don't want, like, I don't want to see bad acting, and I don't want to see, I don't know, like, because, we always bandy on about, oh, we're storytellers and stuff like that. And I don't want to be taken out of the story.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how we don't, when it comes to color, we'll be like, well, no, you can't, a white person couldn't pay a black person. It's unacceptable to do that. And it's totally right. Now, when you look at someone who is in a wheelchair or something like that, you'd be like, well, we've got actors who are, in wheelchairs and things like that, or different disabilities. So why not use them? But when it comes to sexuality, we're happy to be like, well, no, that doesn't matter because it's an unseen thing, so to speak. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really interesting discussion. And I think part of why I think, and maybe actually where I'm coming to in this discussion is that in a majority of cases, you're possibly right. But I think it's also really interesting and
Mm,
challenging my own thought about ethnicity. It's really interesting actually to explore the juxtaposition about those things if you're doing
mm,
it consciously and as part of the storytelling. And I would include disability and ethnicity in that.
mm.
So, for example, it is interesting potentially to have a black actor playing a white racist, for
Yes.
example. What would that
Yeah.
do? That's something you could really explore in theatre that would be really, really
Yeah.
interesting. And I think my hesitation is also about the homogenization of someone in a wheelchair as defined
Mm.
by the
Yes.
fact that they're in a
Yeah.
wheelchair, and that's not who they're. Actually, I want to talk to you about this as well because
Yeah.
I'm going to be. I was going to do this off camera, but actually, I think we've gone there anyway in this discussion. I'm doing a workshop at BAFTA soon
Yeah.
with their what's called their breakthrough cohort, and I go in. I've done it a number of times over years around um, some communication coaching work that I do, how they can bring themselves to the various
Yeah.
meetings and situations that they go in. And there'll be two participants in this workshop who are deaf. And I know
Yes.
you've learnt BSL, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah.
And so I was having a discussion with the program manager at BAFTA just yesterday around
Mm.
how I will tweak what I talk about, which is often around your content, your body, and your voice working
Mhm.
together to be congruent in your communication. And if you don't have voice or you don't have hearing in one part of the communication, then it puts a different emphasis on other parts of your means to communicate, your written
Mm.
word, your physicality, if you're
Mhm.
your lips if you're helping
Yeah.
someone understand you who's a lip reader, your hand
Mhm.
gestures if you're using BSL or not using BSL, but you've just been demonstrative. What has
Mhm.
learning BSL given you both personally and as an actor?
Oh God. One, I love learning. That's what I've realized
Mm.
over the years. There's like a common thing.
Right.
And it's given me confidence I never thought I'd be able to learn another language. It was something that was quite shut off for me in some way in my head. And I use it every day.
Do
I
you?
talk like, yeah, every single day. I love it so much. And I'm trying to think what it's given me. Um, it's given me, because deaf people, it's a different grammatical structure. And so it does make you think different. When I wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
sometimes I try to think in BSL
Really?
and be
What does that mean?
because
Talk us through that. What do you mean by thinking BSL?
so like the grammatical structure of it. So if I said I'm going to the gym tomorrow, in BSL, you start with time, so it's tomorrow, and then it's the topic, which is gym, then it's the subject, which is me or I, and then it's the action, which is to go. So it would be tomorrow, gym I go. Yeah.
Interesting. And
so
that
I
is a sort of
love,
well-established structural part of the language so that people know,
yes,
okay, they're starting with this, then they're
yes,
moving on to that as a way of
yes,
orientation in listening.
because you need to know what they need to know what you're talking about. So if I said big, what am I talking about? You
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
If I said big black, what am I talking about? You still don't know. And if I said big black horse, you'd be like, okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, if I said horse,
Yes.
you'd be like, yeah, what about it? Because you know what I'm talking about. And I
Yeah.
say, oh, it's big and it's black. Do you know
Yes.
what I mean? So you kind of like, yeah.
Really, really interesting. And so, would a deaf person that you're communicating to with BSL,
Mm.
would they consider themselves a listener or a reader? How do they? How is that?
I'd say a listener. Yeah, receptive. Yeah. I'd say a listener. It's so interesting, like
Yeah. Just
communication. And the difference that I didn't realize is the understanding is different from speaking it. Because it's the first time really for me that I've learned another language consciously, where English, I was grew up with it, so
yeah.
I didn't know there'd be a difference. So
So
yeah,
here's a challenge then now. So if you
yeah,
were offered a role playing a straight deaf character,
wouldn't accept it.
you wouldn't accept it.
No, because
Gay
it's
deaf
not
character.
a gay deaf character. No, not even deaf. No, because there's deaf actors out there who are brilliant, who it should be going to them. And yeah, it's their culture, it's their, if I was playing a coder, which is a child of deaf adults, I'd do that. Or if I was someone who was in a relationship with a deaf person,
Or a formerly hearing person.
what does that mean? As in, they were used to hear
Lost their,
before.
yes, it might have lost their hearing through that.
Potentially, yes, yeah,
Interesting.
because then if they weren't a native BSL user, then yes. But then going back to what you were saying before is that, and I think it's nice seeing all these dramas and things that are happening with BSL, like Rose and stuff. And what would be nice would be to get to a point where it's not about a deaf issue anymore. Do you know what I mean? Where they can play a story, but actually it's not a deaf issue, but it's just that they're deaf.
This is why it's
And
such a rich debate, isn't it? Is that where do we
mm,
put people's quality and where does identity in all its
yeah,
forms sit in the hierarchy of people's relationship to self and relationship to audience? It's
yeah,
such a fascinating debate. And I
yeah,
think we're on a big journey and transition with all of this stuff, and it might settle in a different place in years to come.
yeah,
Who knows? Really interesting stuff.
yeah.
So take us to Smoggie Queens. Talk us through that whole experience. Did they just, talking about identity, did they just find every gay Northeast actor and get them in it?
I think so. They did this differently, Smoggie Queens.
Mm,
So it was when Eurovision was at Liverpool.
yes.
So I was in Liverpool and
I was in
I
Liverpool.
got, were
Oh, no,
you?
were you on
Did I?
Hollyoaks at that point?
No, no,
You're
was
just a
I?
fan up at
No,
Eurovision.
just
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, same.
And I got the what's it called, audition through, and I was sick. I was ill. I was ill in bed.
No.
Yeah, and we paid all this money to go to Eurovision, and I was like having to drag myself there, and I was like, oh God.
Uh,
And so I did the self tape, but like um, it was a struggle.
mm.
So
United
and
by
also
mucus.
yes, yeah, and also I couldn't do a Middlesbrough accent because I'd forgotten how to do it. And so I did like a bit of a Geordie accent. Anyway, so sent it off and I got it. But what they did with it was they wanted to cast it first before they took it to the BBC. And so we had a couple of days rehearsing the first episode, like a table read. And then they invited the BBC over and then we did it and they absolutely loved it. And it
Yeah.
was like, they said it was like one of the best table reads they've ever had. And I think that why that was is because they cast it first rather than saying this is the show
Mm.
and then casting it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've been on it since day one
Great.
and it's like a family. Honest to God, I've never been in a company of actors where or we have a WhatsApp group and like support each other. Elijah was staying with me the other day. We'll go and see everyone, whatever they're doing. We went to see
Great.
Lauren, who plays Mel in The Coven.
Yeah.
yeah, like we just have such a lovely group and a clique.
A
So
bit
yeah,
closer to a theatre ensemble. It's hard to get that on telly shows,
yes,
isn't it? But when you're in a theatre company,
yeah,
that's often, you might have that and maybe only for the period of the show, but it feels like
yeah,
this has really extended and gone beyond that and cemented itself a little bit more deeply.
yeah.
How
It has.
cool. And so you filmed the
Yeah,
second series, and in the
we've
first
done it. Yeah,
series, you were playing Phil's character's ex.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
I guess partly in the writing of the second series, they're like, oh, I want to keep these people around. So has your role developed a little bit? Has
yeah.
it?
Well, this is the thing because we in the original, I just assumed, well, I've broken up with him. That's it. Do you
Yeah,
know what
you
I
don't.
mean? Like I'm only going to be in one episode,
Yeah.
but because we all got on, Phil was like, fuck it. I'm gonna like he's the writer, he can do what he wants. And
Yeah.
he brought everyone back. He brought me back. So
Yeah.
it kept me in for the series. So and then made it that we worked together as well. So there was all that connection and
Yeah.
Elizabeth's not that big. So, there is really a lot of potential for bumping into each other all the time. Originally I was only meant to be one episode and then yeah. And when we'd filmed the pilot, we were all sat around the table having a drink afterwards. And I just was like, Phil, I hope this is everything you want it to be. I hope it brings you everything. And like, I wish you all the best kind of thing, thinking that would be it, but still doing it.
Yeah. And it's had a great reaction for him and for the show more broadly, hasn't it?
Mm.
Um, what's he like? Tell us a bit about him and his process.
He's really generous. He's like, um, he doesn't keep the best things for him. He'll give it to other people. And yeah, just really, really lovely. Like there's no like, I'm the writer, I'm this, I'm that. Like, he's just down to earth, really lovely, great sense of humor. And we just like giggle all the time.
Great.
What a nice place to be, like on a set where you feel free to, if you've got an idea or, you can bring it up and you don't feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, how has that changed your relationship with the Northeast again? You said, I don't know how flippantly
Yeah.
earlier, you got the hell out of there at 17, but this has
Yeah.
taken you back. You're about to do a show in Newcastle. Often that's the
Yeah.
case, right? When you've got a local show,
Yeah.
then that's going to help that audience there. How are you feeling about being back in the Northeast?
Yeah, not good. Like I do feel a bit bad, to be honest, that I was a bit like, denied and it and kind of yeah. So it feels nice to be back and to appreciate it really for, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a bit like the kind of is it Educating Rita? Where you kind of she get but she can never go back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It will never be the same. But actually, because she wanted to better herself, but actually there's something about it that's got heart and yeah.
Do you think there's something about age and coming back in that? I know. I mean, I moved to London, very excited about moving to London. I very much would consider London home. I've been here for 30 odd
Mm,
years now. Um, not quite that long. But filming Corrie in Manchester, then my family being in
yeah,
York, I've been going a lot more up to Yorkshire and Lancashire. My brother in law is a Geordie. My nephew's gone to Newcastle Uni. I I really, really enjoy going back these days. I enjoy the
yeah,
conversations you have with the cashier in Boots. I enjoy thanking the bus driver.
yeah,
I enjoy
yeah,
just people interacting with
yeah,
strangers in all kinds of contexts. I think people are more patient. I think they're fun.
yeah,
I think there's a bit of a cliche, the speakers you find, but I think people
yeah,
really are, they live inclusivity in a much better way, in my experience, where, they really are much more embracing of difference, I think, when I go back. How do you feel
yeah.
about that?
I feel yes, there is like this culture to it, which is it is warmer friendly in some ways, but also like I do feel like an alien when I go back. I do feel like I always stick out,
Yeah,
and and sometimes like I'll try and not try, but like change a little bit how I dress because I just I won't wear that in Hartlepool.
yeah,
I think why it for me getting away from it was because I feel safer in London than I do in Hartlepool.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, and I was bullied a lot at school and things, and walking through the town centre can be very self-conscious. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just think,
Yeah.
oh, they know I'm not from here, if you know what I mean, even though I
Yeah.
am from there. But
Yeah.
yeah. But when you get to talk to people or go to my mum and dad go to like a working men's club every
Do
Sunday,
they?
you know,
Oh,
yeah.
great.
And
Tell me about that.
that is an
Tell me
absolute
about that. Is it?
experience.
I mean, for those
Yeah.
who don't know, if you haven't grown up in the north of England, and I think it is, you know, anyone who's seen Phoenix Nights, the Peter Kay sitcom, that, you know, that is not a parody. I mean, of course, it is a parody, but it is a kind of slight magnification of something that is a lot of people's experiences. My granddad used to go regularly down to Rothwell Working Men's Clubs, a whole network of social clubs, essentially, principally across the north of England, but they do exist in other parts of the country. I don't know how many around still, but they literally were a network where they would bulk buy beer, so you could go and get a pint at heavily reduced prices from pubs, for example. There was a network of performers, you know, doing the rounds of doing very cheesy Jay McDonald style performances, couples, someone on the keyboard, someone on the microphone, and places to hang out. And I know when my granddad became a widower, you know, that was the fulcrum and the center point of his social existence was heading down there. He'd be on a table with friends, and there was a proper community about it. But your mum and dad do they still go to the Working Men's Club?
They
Do
still
they?
go every Sunday, yeah.
I love that. Do you go down with them and every now and then?
My mum's like, "I've told them that you're going in." I'm like, "Mum," like,
Because you're
and
a
so I
star
do
there, I
go.
suppose. You're on the
Yeah, do you know
telly.
what I mean? Like, it's yeah, exactly, and it's
Yeah.
like it is a bit strange, and you do feel like you're being shown off, and you it's like, and so, you know, there'll be, you know, packets of crisps, and they open it for the table, you know what I mean? And my mum brings she'll have cooked, so she'll have brought, like, corned beef slice and
Oh,
stuff like that, and, you know,
fantastic.
quiche. She'll have
Yeah.
made a quiche or whatever, and there'll be a turn on, you know, a band that
Turn. That's
comes
the
on at certain
performer.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the
Right.
bingo, and they've got like 6 bingo boards
Yeah.
and, you know,
Dabbers.
but 2 of their dabbers, and they're literally it's like a machine. Wow, it's watching something just in awe of like,
It
wow, watch this
is.
go.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
must be right at home here in the Stage Door Athletic
And
Clubhouse. This is like home from home.
yeah.
How cool. I love that. I love that. It's so nostalgic to me. And I think it speaks that sort of sense of community. And of course, whilst you might, you know, feel a little bit of an alien in the North of East, you do find home from home by attending Gregg's Bakery quite frequently, don't you?
Yes, that
Where did
keeps me
your
humble.
obsession with Gregg's come from? Is it just being a Northeast boy? You kind of really owned this. Of all the
Yeah.
people I know, you're obsessed with Gregg's, aren't you?
I wanna be the face of Greg's. I'm gonna change my name because I've seen it descend the country.
Yes, yeah, it's
You
following
know,
you.
if from yeah, it basically followed me. So the first time I saw it in London, I was like, "Oh my God," like, wow. And whoever's doing the marketing on it
Genius.
and behind it, like, yeah, they're really like, wow. And of course you get different things up north that you don't get down here as well, you know, corned beef, pasties, you get pies up there, stotty cakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
really good.
love it.
And I referenced in the introduction that when I did my self tapes for Corrie, the first I did
Yeah.
on my own, and then when they asked me to do more, I had to do like 4 scenes. And normally, when you're doing a self tape, we've talked about this, Jack and I, but you know, you need to
Mm,
recruit someone to come and help you do it. And, you know, I'm fortunate I live with 2 mates who are actors, but they were both away. So normally we can all service each other's self tape needs.
mm,
But everyone was away. I called some other friends and I was like, do you know what? Peter would be great at this. And I called you in and bribed you with some Gregg's vouchers. I know you would have done it free, but
Ah,
I bought you some Gregg's
no.
vouchers to come round and help read in those scenes for me. And you did such a great job, which got me the gig. So I'm
Yeah.
entirely
I want
grateful
10%.
with, yes, with sausage rolls for that. How was your experience in Soapland when you were doing Hollyoaks?
Yeah, it was good. It was a bit of an experience because I got the self-tape through for Hollyoaks for this character, and I did it. And then my friend, you know, Alan Turkington?
Yes, yeah,
Yes, he messaged me, was like, "Will you help me with the self-tape? I've got it for Hollyoaks." And I was like, and I said to David, my ex, I was like, what do I do? Like, I've got this, you know. I mean, for me, it's not a problem because I'm not this thing of like, oh, they're going to take my role or whatever. It's
yeah,
not my
yeah, yeah,
role. And of course, I want to get it. But like, if I don't get it, I want them, my friend, to get it. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? So I went round and I said, look, Alan, I'm going to be really straight with you. I'm up for the same role as well. He said, really? I said, yeah. I said, but I've done my self-tape and I've sent it off. He said, oh, okay, well, if you've done that, then it's fine. So I helped him with his self-tape.
yeah.
And then we
Sabotaged
both got
him.
sabotage. We both got recalls. So both went to the recall,
Mm,
London together. Again, in Pret, going through the scene before
yes,
with each other. Then we both got chemistry reads. So we both had to travel all the way to Liverpool on the
yes,
same train, everything. And it was nice actually, because it was a way of keeping each other company, taking
yeah,
our minds off
yeah,
it. But also, do you want to go over the scene? Right, let's do it. Let's be there for each
yes,
other. And then there was only three of us in there. So we're like, okay, it's gonna be,
yeah,
you know. And then I didn't get it and he didn't get it. So we're like, oh, it must be the other person.
yeah,
But it wasn't even the other person. David Ames got it.
yes,
It wasn't even there, but like he must have like filmed on another day. And so the good thing is that Hollyoaks, like they loved our auditions so much that they actually wrote us both characters within the storyline.
yeah,
So, and I was only meant to be in a couple of episodes, and it ended up like expanding a year over like
yeah,
the whole storyline.
yeah.
So yeah,
It's so interesting because I also went into Liverpool for that part,
yeah,
and that was on the back of Corrie afterward, Corrie. And I didn't do a great job. I remember not quite. Well, it was really weird. I remember my experience, like having spent, 18 months in Salford in the
yeah,
Corrie studios. I went to Liverpool to Lime Street Pictures where Hollyoaks is filmed, and it all just felt a little bit just not quite as good, because it's a sort of old converted building, and Corrie's relative
yeah,
only a few years old. The new set
yeah,
in Salford, so the green room and the dressing rooms and the canteen is fantastic and a real centre for
yeah.
the whole production and everything. And the production officers all come onto each other. And I remember turning up
Mm,
in Liverpool to go meet the casting director, and
yeah.
I just remember thinking, oh, the canteen's a bit rubbish and it's a bit cold here and it all feels like an old school. So I sort of got very snobby in my head. And I think
Yeah,
that must have played through subtly into what I did. And I feel like
yeah,
Peter and the casting director just didn't quite like what I'd done.
really.
So
Yeah,
yes, I messed that up as well, I think. But it's so funny. And then when I found out David Ames
yeah,
got it, who I know as well, I know you know as well,
yes.
I was like, oh my God, it's such a incestuous world. Then you rocked up on it. And actually what they do, and this is very common and it's actually happening
Mm,
my storyline now, they pull back on a bit of story and they're now delivering through a different character like 3 years later,
yeah,
and
yeah,
things evolve and change all the time. And so
yeah,
I think that also speaks to this idea of any younger actors listening, is that go in, and I got this advice from one of the directors actually. I was being really faithful to the scripts in Corrie that weren't that dynamic because they were really struggling to know where
yeah,
this character was fitting because they changed the storyline arc. And
yeah,
he was like, go make it your own. The writers
yes,
will respond to you if you go
yes,
in and do something. And that was such a foreign idea to me. And I
yeah,
felt like I didn't know where to take it actually. But I think it's really interesting if you get an opportunity in these things
yeah,
and your background has been theatre, you want to come in and the writer is the thing and you want to be faithful to the part and you want to give it over
yeah,
to them. But in telly, I don't think it works like that. The writers will respond to you much, much more.
yeah.
And so I think
Because if they
that's a
can
real
hear
lesson for
your,
me.
yeah, because I think if you come on with a strong commitment of a strong character, then eventually they will start to hear that character and how they speak, and do you know what I mean? And they'll start writing like, you know, Kat from EastEnders. They'll know exactly how Kat will respond
Yeah.
because she's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is like we're told in drama schools because you work on these amazing texts and, Chekhov, Shakespeare, and all these, mammoths and stuff, and to honor that because it's the Bible, and to not change anything. And so when you work on soaps, these are constantly changing, adapting.
Yeah.
Even on the day, sometimes it's
Yeah.
changed.
And there isn't one voice. This is like, the scripts are coming
Yes,
through, and there are like 8 or 9 different
exactly.
writers that they're using. So they all have
Yeah.
to pick up from each other. So actually the only
Yeah.
constant in that is you. So I think you've got
Yeah.
to grab that moment much, much more.
Not even
I
the
would say,
directors.
Yeah, yeah, true.
The directors change and
Yeah.
everything. So, yeah, and so like I remember you can change bits. That's okay. Like as in like little tiny
Mhm.
things. If you want to change a word, like a very specific word, then you'd ask the director,
Yeah.
and he'd say yes or no, or they'd say yes or no. And then if you wanted to change a sentence, then they'd go, okay, let's check with the writer room. Let's call them up, and then they'll either green light it or not, and they'll come back to say yes or no. Or they'll
Or
send
if
some.
you've got a certain profile within a soap opera and you haven't learnt the lines, then you can just argue your case for a change, not because it's right or because the writer
Yes,
wants something, just because of your first force of personality and the
yes,
fact they want an easy life. So that's
yes.
the other way to do
I
it, but I
remember.
never felt able to do that.
No,
I was so diligent. I knew every ready word and every
yeah.
possibility, but not always the case.
Yeah, I remember we like teched a scene before lunch, and then we had lunch, came back, and this other actor had rewritten the scene, and he went, "So this is what I'm going to say," and he'd totally taken all my lines away, and I was like, "Yeah," and I'm like, this like I don't have many anyway. So
Yeah.
please don't make me like redundant in this scene. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it was like, oh, is anyone going to call this out? Of course, no one is going to
Mm,
say anything. So that was a bit of it was hard because you're like, oh, wow. Like you don't think, of course, to me, it's really important that I say this line. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that was
Oh,
a
the audacity.
tricky, uh,
I just would never, I'm just not that person. But I'm going, maybe that's what comes with ego and comfort and over time. I don't know.
I think like Smoggie Queens, right? We all come together and everyone wants to do the best job ever. Like we're only here for a limited time. We're all excited. We're doing this for the first, like not first time, but do you know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah.
thing. Everything's new. Where when you've been in a soap for so long, it's just another day,
Yeah.
and it's just a job. There's not excitement. So when you're a new person coming in and you're all bubbly, nervous, excited, and you're hit with, you know, really care or whatever. I
Mm,
don't know. There's a
yeah.
difference
Yeah.
of,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Now, you wouldn't know from listening to this episode, but this is also a sports podcast, Peter. Do you do you go to any sport? Have you been to any big sporting arenas in your life? Have you ever had that sort of theatre of sport experience?
I've been to Wembley to see Beyonce. Um, does
Very
Eurovision
good.
count?
It doesn't. Are there any big sports fans in the cast? Is Mark Benton a sports fan?
Oh, he doesn't talk to. No, can you imagine? I'm not allowed to touch him to speak to. I think there's a few Middlesbrough
Are
fans
there?
in there. Yes, I think they've been to see a few Middlesbrough matches.
Yeah.
I mean, when my dad was a really big footballer when I was younger. He
Was he?
wanted to play. Yeah, he wanted to be goalie, and he got not sectioned. That's not the right word. What's the word where you're like recruited?
Sectioned.
Sectioned.
I love that as a
That.
consequence. You haven't made the squad. Here's a home for mental health.
And he wanted me to be a footballer, I
Yeah.
think. And he gave me a pair of football boots when I was about 6,
Mm.
and I put them on, and they made a clippy clopping sound on high heels. And I think that's when they knew
Yes.
he might be gay.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to do was take the front stud out, so I had like a cheeky kitten heel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. My mum's at netball used to have her own netball team.
Yes. Great.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you really scraping the barrel to try and make some link here, but I think we'll just leave it there. Um, that is great, brilliant. What a great
Yeah.
chat! I really love that. So, Smoggie
Yeah.
Queens, if you haven't watched it,
Yeah.
go watch it on iPlayer. And you said earlier, and feel free not to answer this question, in relationship to the gym, and I said, would you not go for a
Mm.
couple of weeks now? You said, nah, things are a little bit different. What's shifting in your mind at the
Yeah.
minute? Are you feeling just different about life?
Yeah. A lot of changes are
Not
happening
a change.
personally, like separated from my husband for
Yeah.
12 years. There's a lot of I think I was doing a lot of things for other people in
Mm.
a sense, and now I'm at that point where I'm not doing that anymore. But it's interesting because I'm clocking it, like, hang on, I would do it for other people, but why would I not do it for myself?
Yeah.
And so that's an interesting thing to explore, relationship with myself, dynamic to take to my therapist,
Yeah.
So yeah, and also winter and um yeah, and so, like, it's things have been up and down,
Yeah.
and, yeah.
Well, I think that's brilliant. And I think a really great part of what it is to keep growing and maturing as a person. I definitely know I've had certain little key markers in my life where, for whatever reason,
Mm,
be driven by circumstance or yourself, and you make a shift
yeah,
and things really get thrown up in the air and land in different places. I think they're great opportunities for growth, and coming out of a long
yeah,
relationship is always inevitably going to prompt that. But all the very, very best of luck in whatever this next phase brings, and I love the fact that you're
yeah.
embracing it and stepping towards it.
Yeah,
And
I'm
thanks.
excited because it's the unknown. As much as it's scary, it's like yeah, but it's exciting at the same time.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, let's tuck into this bit of quiche that your mum sent, and we'll watch some old repeats. Thanks for some repeats of Smoggie Queens. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.